not having seen the game last Saturday, I imagine when a team comes from as far back as they did, they expend a lot of energy. It really makes it difficult going into overtime. Is that accurate?
Yeah, a little bit. And we really executed well down the stretch in terms of the offensive actions that we wanted to run, and then obviously the defense intensity. The whole second half was good. We had a couple options on the last play, and one of them was the free for Todrick. Along those lines of you're thinking, if you get that and you go up by one. But at the same time, the first two possessions of overtime were good possessions for us. The first one we had 3 shots right at the rim, and the second one we had a dunk. Again, it was disappointing. The guys showed a lot of heart in terms of their comeback. But on the road, it's tough to put yourself in a 23-point hole, and you just can't do that.
What is the biggest thing you feel you need to correct from the first time you played North Carolina?
Well, they hurt us in 2 main areas. They hurt us in transition. We did not do a good job. We need to keep fresh bodies out there because they can really run, and they play a lot of guys. And then the second one was our post defense was not very good. They were able to get the ball in deep, score on the block, score over us when we did force them out a little bit. And we did some good things in the middle part of the first half, cut the lead to 4, got some transition baskets, and you got to take care of the basketball. They did some trapping on us that we didn't handle very well. So you got to be efficient offensively, but you can't give them any easy baskets, and that's primarily transition, easy post feeds, and then second chance points. And they didn't get a lot of second chance points because when you shoot 65%, you don't miss a lot of shots.
I'm curious, going back to the overtime, what did you see that you could have done differently or better?
Well, you asked about the pressing. It's hard to press.
Right,
you got to make the basket. Right. You know what I mean? And we were down 4 with the ball. The guys really executed well. Got Todrick a pretty good look at about 17 feet. He missed a shot. Unfortunately, we didn't finish the guys did a really good job of executing some of our actions. We just didn't finish any plays in that first 4 minutes of the overtime.
Right.
And fatigue might have been a factor in that. But they played just as many minutes, and so it's just, there was one defensive breakdown in the overtime. Other than that, Grantham, who hadn't made a basket since the beginning of the game, hit a big shot for him. Virtually the same play that they ran at the end of the game that Marcus did a great job on Hall. They ran, and Hall made a tough shot, through Marcus.
Right.
We did a good job of switching to put a little bigger, stronger guy on Hall. And, he's a senior. He made a good play there. That was a tough shot. That put him up by 6 after we didn't score when we were down 4. Unfortunately, we didn't finish well-executed actions in that overtime.
Todrick, how has he gotten better in the last 4 or 5 games? What is he doing different?
Well, he's shooting 40% from the 3. Right. During this stretch right now. He's playing with a little more savvy. You know what I mean? And it's still that's his greatest challenge. Is he's a guy that can make plays and not only score the ball, but he has 5 assists against Clemson. He makes some great passes. That pass that he threw to DeMarco in overtime was, just a great play. He just, through experience, you learn you can't make a play every time down. And so sometimes the defense is better than your offense, and you just need to pull it out, reverse the ball, and stick with it. His biggest challenge is there's shots that maybe you take in the last 10 seconds of the shot clock that you don't take in the first 10 seconds. And at the same time, I've said all year, with a guy like Q, with a guy like Todrick, guys that can shoot the ball, you never want, you want them to feel aggressive and confident, you know what I mean? And I think you have to let their maturity and your direction kind of lead them to learn where those shots come from and when is the right time. And that's, sometimes that just takes experience.
Is that one of the things that Marcus has learned since he's been here?
Yeah, and I think you're starting to see it even more. I think one of the best things for us is we have guys who have dramatically improved during the season. I think Marcus, now he's been working hard on it because we knew it was an aspect of the game he needed improvement, but now he's making some pull-up jump shots, the mid-range shooting, which is going to be important for him. Everything can't be a drive to the basket. We've talked about Todrick already, but I think you've seen Travis improve during the year, Josh improve during the year, so those are all good signs. But you're starting to see Marcus impact the game in other ways too. The 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, different things like that, where he may never be the guy that scores 25, but he may be one of the, as going into his senior year, maybe one of the guys in the league that impacts the game in as many ways as anybody around.
Chris, it was after the Virginia game that you started, at least statistically speaking, you started playing a lot better, or putting up a lot better numbers. I'm curious, from that game, or was there something building up to that point that you saw him?
You're talking Marcus in
right,
particular?
Sorry, yeah.
I think, hey, there's been some tough situations where lesser guys would have, lost some confidence or whatever. He's not one of those kids, and I think he knows that keeps working on his game, keeps doing the things he needs to do, that some of those breaks that maybe he hasn't gotten are going to go his way, but the only way you're going to get those if you keep being aggressive and you keep working on what you need to work on.
Right.
And I think he's really symbolized that whole idea.
Going back to